I just have one thing to say to everybody. This is your team, and it's here to stay.
You are now listening to Sports Talk 916 with Greg Boehl and Coach Greg Veroza.
If you'd like to participate in the show, there are a couple of ways to do it. If you want to contact us on Twitter, use the show's Twitter address, which is @SportsTalk916. For Greg B, go to @MrChief916. And for me, Coach Greg, it's @Greg Veroza. And Veroza is VAROZZA. And if you want to chat live with us, the best place to go is go to the Mixler page and hit chat. There you'll see all of us chatting together as the show goes on.
Sports Talk 916, we're doing our WrestleMania 33 preview show with guest host, no Greg Veroza tonight, but guest host Geoff Bickley and Scott Freshour. So let's just jump right into the card. I don't want to talk about the championship match. We don't want to talk about. Let's start with a throwaway match, and it's going to be on.
There are no throwaway matches, Greg. It's an honor to be on the card.
On the pre-show, the battle, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
You mean the Strowman Showcase?
Yeah, I mean, I understand wanting to have as many people as possible on the roster and, you know, on the show, and, you know, you have to make it a big thing. But as WWE fans, do you really get excited to watch? I mean, obviously it's on the pre-show, so you may not even see it. Like for us, whenever we have events, you know, we watch them here. That's always our, you know, food run time, and we just kind of check up on it on the app. But do you really get excited about the Battle Royal?
I mean, for me, I don't get too excited. I mean, a little kind of behind the scenes thing. The solace I take out of it is that these guys bust their butts to get on a card, and apparently, you know, nobody knows, but there is a huge WrestleMania payday for the show. So it's nice to see the guys that maybe aren't being used or, you know, just don't know how to be used, you know, get thrown on there and at least get some type of bone. But there's nothing to be excited about. I mean, it's a throwaway. It's what it is. You usually know who's going to win. We all know this year it's going to be Strowman. I think the best thing is the over-under is how long he's going to carry around that trophy with him on Raw.
You mean like, was it? It wasn't Show that carried it all the time. It was
No, they each did it. Cesaro had it first, and then he carried it around for like 2 weeks.
And someone smashed his.
Yeah, and then Show had it, and then Corbin would stand next to it for a couple weeks. And, you know, it's kind of like the, hey, after a month, oh, yeah, by the way, we'll just mention it now. No more trophy.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, oh, yeah, by the way, this will come back next year. Don't worry about it. Fresh, I mean, do you enjoy watching that? Like Geoff said, I mean, it's pretty much a predetermined winner.
It's obvious. There's an obvious. I kind of had a little bit of trouble hearing it. Braun Strowman's obviously like the only guy that's going to win that. But WWE is interesting. It's like when they want to put like some fire behind something, then it means something, right? So like I thought like the first 2 years was pretty awesome, man. Like they really hyped up the history, you know, with Andre the Giant. And when they put it on the show, like, I mean, last year Baron Corbin won it. It was awesome. It was like cool. It was like a platform for people. But I mean, as much as they want to make that kickoff show like, you know, special, like if it's on the kickoff show, you're basically telling us that it's not that important. So if you're telling us that the match is not that important, then how can any of us really get emotionally invested in it? It's kind of disappointing. I'm looking at the roster of who's in it right now, and like, obviously it's going to be Braun Strowman, but it kind of makes me sad to see Dolph Ziggler just kind of hitting in there.
Man.
I don't know what they've done with him, but
and Sami Zayn being a throwaway in there too.
SmackDown too, and he was just kind of buried in a tag match with Breezango. Like, what happened there, man?
You knew it was going downhill when the first entrant was Mojo Rawley, and they let that sit for about a week.
Gosh, Mojo. Yeah, that's not must-see TV.
Right, exactly. But on the flip side to that, the second match of the pre-show or the kickoff show is one that should get people excited, and that is Austin Aries making his pay-per-view debut.
It has to be a match on the night
versus Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship. I'm not someone that watched a lot of TNA or Ring of Honor or any of those other
Impact Wrestling, sir.
Yeah, I've watched maybe a handful of episodes of those, so I'm not big on the history of Austin Aries. Like I know the name, I know that he puts on spectacular matches, but this one excites me, one, because ever since Neville came back and took this heel roll on in the cruiserweights, he's been remarkable. And then Austin Aries doing the the cruiserweight commentary and doing some of the stuff with NXT, and then inserting himself in, like Geoff just said. I think this honestly could end up being like the match of the night.
Well, it gave 205 Live some credibility. I mean, they had a bunch of rookies in. It was a nice little web show for a while, but when you turn it into a weekly thing, it's like, okay, who are our stars? Then you bring in Neville. They had no idea what to do with him. It's the hottest thing out of NXT, and then just disappears. He's now taking over the division. You got Aries, who's going to come in. There's talks of Sami Zayn coming in. I mean, this could be one of the next hottest things. I mean, in terms of comparison, it could rival the X division that TNA had.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's it's fun to watch. I mean, especially like the little guys doing the high flyer stuff. I mean, I've never seen someone move around the ring, especially like aerial stuff, as well as Neville. I mean, dude is I mean, not to go by his gimmick, but the one that defies gravity or whatever the hell his thing is. Or the man that gravity forgot or whatever. It's like the ability for him to springboard off of that top rope and do things that he does. It's literally like just holy crap.
A little side note, not to get too ahead of ourselves. Imagine somewhere down the road Neville Styles match. That would be insane.
Yeah, Fresh. Who do you think's going to pull that one out? Neville and Austin Aries.
It's hard. It's another one of those things where it's like, WWE, are we supposed to care about the cruiserweight division?
It's the cruiserweights.
You make us want to, but then you put it on the pre-show. So, like, I had high hopes. I thought, like you guys said, this could steal the show if it was on the main show. But now we'll see a highlight package of it, like, you know what I mean, 2 hours into the show. I think when I'm looking at the WrestleMania card this year, I'm seeing a lot of WrestleMania moments. And I think that we'll see Austin Aries win the Cruiserweight title off of Neville, which is exciting, but these are honestly the first two guys in that entire division that I've been interested in. Right? It's kind of cartoon character, like the gentleman with the umbrella and
Jack Gallagher,
the video game guy. Like, I honestly will fast forward through every cruiserweight thing. This is the first time I actually want to watch the cruiserweight match. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, you're not alone on that. Anytime I see purple ropes, I'm like, and
that's gotta go.
Yeah, I don't know how long they're gonna let that go.
Side note, Jack Gallagher won his first MMA fight this past week, so apparently a true tough guy.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, what the hell? So, Geoff, who's your prediction? Who wins that?
I mean, Neville's established it. He's got the division with some seriousness now. You got to not have him dominate it. So, Aries, he's hot right now. Let him get the win. Maybe have him trade for a little bit. And, Cedric Alexander's coming back soon. Again, bring Sami Zayn over, maybe some other guys. Mysterio's been talks of coming back. So, if they do it right, they can book it. But I agree. You got to have Aries take the belt here.
Cool. Greg Verosa says riveting radio. Shut up. All right, so we'll move into the main card. Basically, everything is up for grabs, and I put that with an asterisk because we're going to get to that in a moment. But let's start off with a non-WWE match, the non-sanctioned Triple H versus Seth Rollins. Obviously, if
Seth freaking Rollins,
if you ever pay attention to WWE, you know that they tend to embellish a little bit on injuries. Case in point, John Cena, his full bicep tear or whatever the hell it was, and then he's back like 6 weeks later in the Royal Rumble. Obviously, Rollins' knee injury wasn't as bad as they wanted everyone to believe, because if it was, he wouldn't be taking crutch shots across the knee. Regardless of how well he healed, no doctor would be like, hey, you just got off a major surgery or even minor surgery. Go ahead and take a couple, metal crutch shots across the knee and let's hope it all holds up.
Well, and it's legit. I mean, there's the video, there's the close-up when, Joe tackles him down. It looked awkward when it happened. You can see them mouthing. Joe's all, hey, are you okay? Seth's like, I don't know.
He said, I hope so, yeah.
So, I mean, it was a slight sprain, but obviously, that's WWE. They're playing it up the best they can.
Right. So this match honestly kind of excites me, though. It's going to be one of those old school, just whatever goes kind of thing. I think it's going to give Rollins the ability to kind of break out of that, the Shield thing a little bit, but also break out of the Authority and kind of come back to like his really like raw, ability. And then obviously Triple H is going to put on a good show no matter what he's going to do. I mean, dude's still in great shape. He's always been one of the best in the ring. But what I'm really hoping for, and I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I would love, since it's non-sanctioned, I would love to see Rollins end it with a curb stomp.
Nice.
Well, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be able to curb stop anybody when he's getting his face punched in by Samoa Joe. And, yeah, that's going to happen.
You think Samoa Joe's going to be a... Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to ask about that because Samoa Joe's not on the card, and I was thinking maybe he puts himself into the Royal Rumble or into the Battle Royal, the Memorial, but I can definitely see him coming out and setting up a beef between Samoa Joe and Rollins for a little while.
If Joe shows up in the Memorial Battle Royal, he should just quit right there.
Right. But Fresh, what do you think about this match? I mean, is this one that kind of gets you excited a little bit?
It does. And like I said, I have my notes here, and I see a lot of WrestleMania moments on this card, and I think this is going to be another one of them. And they've been kind of teasing at house shows that Triple H has this new stable with him, with Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe. I think that you will see Seth Rollins will win. This is going to be there's going to be a lot of interference in this match, but I think you'll see the birth and the official introduction of this new faction that Triple H has, and I think it's going to be Samoa Joe. It's going to be Kevin Owens, and I think you're going to see Finn Balor, dude, or something crazy is going to happen.
I forgot about
and like
Finn.
I said, you're gonna see something new happen. A whole new powerhouse will be created, and you might even see Sami Zayn involved in this match too. Which he's kind of the underdog on Raw right now, and if he kind of helps out Seth Rollins, fight this new Authority clique or whatever we want to call it, it might set him up for a nice, next year if he's this underdog and the Authority's kind of going after him too. So. I see a lot of interference and a lot of helter-skelter, but I see Seth Rollins winning this bad boy.
Did he just call for Evolution 2.0 with Triple H
right,
as now the Ric Flair mentor?
That's right, baby. Finn Balor, dude. I think Finn Balor joins because you keep seeing Triple H tweet out, pictures of him and Finn in the ring, and fans are wondering when Finn Balor's coming back.
Triple H and his NXT guys are his boys.
It's an NXT clique right there, dude, and that's the future for him. So it makes sense to have some of those guys together and kind of run Raw.
Well, and they are. WWE is at its best when you have stables. They are pretty stable free right now. Besides Sanity and New Day, there's not a lot running around.
We'll get to that here in a minute, too. What's your prediction on this match?
I think just because... it's been a year build. Triple H will gain nothing by the win. I don't even think he's won at Mania ever since Sting. But
yeah, let's not get into that one.
Sorry, sore wound. But Rollins, he's finally a face that you can get behind. He even gave the sympathy speech last week. He's got to win this to prolong it, and I think he's going to be feuding with Joe after this. So you got to give him a win to make it strong.
Right on, cool. All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's
Decisions.
Yeah, where do we want to go with this? Let's go to SmackDown, and let's talk about the Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin Intercontinental Championship.
Yes.
Corbin, I think, is one of these guys that they can literally push him in any direction they want. He's going to have a following, and he has the potential to propel himself to the top of whatever belt they want to put him through. I don't like personally the gimmicky way that they've done it with Ambrose. I think they're trying to bank off of Ambrose's his no pun intended or whatever, but lunatic mindset, using the forklift, and then he's in the ambulance, and then the story he jumped out of the ambulance, he started running back to the thing. Just let these two dudes be bruisers and just go at each other. Ambrose is one of the guys that can take the most from a lot of people. Corbin, on the flip side of that, looks like he could be one of the guys that gives the most to the most people. I almost wish, though, that this would have been... I wish that there would have been some crazier stipulation. This is just a straight title fight, is it not?
Straight title fight, and absolutely agree with you. I mean, this should have been Money in the Bank. They need to bring that back at Mania. That would have been a perfect Intercontinental title shot. They got plenty of guys to do it. But for the match itself, I mean, let's hope they don't make the mistake they did last year with Lesnar Ambrose. I mean, a complete just dud. They keep trying to build off Ambrose's past of Ambrose Asylum, Staples, doing all this stuff, but it's PG, so make up your mind, let him be what he's going to be. But I absolutely love Corbin. End of Days is one of the best finishers there are. His character works. He's got the attitude. I still can't believe the guy was a lineman for the Cardinals, but I mean, he's transferred over pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, too. It's like you said, it's stop building off of what's happened with Ambrose in the past. Let him just be the hard knock guy that he is. I mean, let's put it this. I mean, if they would have made this they set it up perfectly. Like you said, Money in the Bank would have been great for Intercontinental title, but they set this up perfectly with all the backroom brawls, the forklift, the ambulance. To set this up as just a street fight or a Falls Count Anywhere, that would have been historical. I mean, that giant ramp that we talked about earlier, there would have been room for them to, to go up that thing and fight up into the, the concourse, go the different direction. Like the way that they have this place set up, that could have been an epic Falls Count Anywhere or street fight style match. Although they kind of overdo the street fight with Ambrose.
They could do like a last minute DQ thing. They've done that before.
Yeah, but I hope they do, because those two guys at WrestleMania in just a standard run of the mill title match, it kind of. Given the two people, it's not as bad, but it's kind of one of those things where you're just like, that might be the one where I go, get some more food or, go crack open another beer and bullshit with the people that are with us, because it might not live up to the hype of what those two characters, possess.
Well, and that's the sad part. I think it is going to be one of those throwaway 7-minute title change. Oh, sorry, we didn't give you guys enough, but you were on the card matches.
What do you think, Fresh?
I
know you like Ambrose.
I do. I love Ambrose. He was on Stone Cold podcast, and then I was like, this guy doesn't really have that vicious streak. But Corbin has kind of brought it out of him, and I feel like SmackDown is kind of hurting with the stars, right? Everyone's on Raw right now, and WWE, if they're smart, really needs to put some fire behind this match, because, I mean, this could be a career-defining night for Corbin, and it should be. Dean Ambrose is there. He's had the title. I don't know how seriously I take him sometimes, but if these guys rip the house apart and just trash everything, and it could set SmackDown up to have even more stars. And Corbin's another one of those NXT guys where I was kind of nervous, like he's going to kind of get lost in the mix. And I never saw what they saw in him. Like, he has this big presence. He has his presence. But I'm finally starting to get behind Corbin, dude. And like you guys said, he could be the next big thing on SmackDown if WWE lets him and Ambrose, like you guys said, get rough, get dirty, get violent.
Right. So I think Corbin wins this. What do you think, Geoff?
Yeah, no. Ambrose has had it long enough. They can move him up to the main event picture, give Corbin the title, let him wreak havoc in the mid card for a while.
And then, Fresh, do you agree?
I agree with you guys.
All right, so there's that. I'm writing these predictions down, by the way. That way we can, either brag or deny every prediction that we've made today.
I do gotta say though, the interactions between Ambrose and Renee Young on Talking Smack are hilarious.
Right. Let's see. Let's jump over to. Let's go back to Raw. We'll stick with one of the undercard championships. Let's go with the former best friends.
Oh yeah, baby!
Chris Jericho, one of Scott Freshour's favorite people. Fresh actually has the list of Freshour.
He's my idol, dude.
I was the first one that made the list.
The Ayatollah of rock and roll.
You're on it, baby.
You know what's funny is I actually the other day at work I was sitting there, I'm like, I need new music to listen to, and being on Apple Music, like I have access to everything.
Did you go Fozzy?
I went Fozzy, and it actually is pretty damn good.
No kidding.
Jericho has some pipes, and it's good.
Hey, they've done 50,000 sold out shows like in Europe. They've performed some shows.
And I tweeted it out. I was like, I don't know what took me so long, but I got on the Fozzy thing, and I was like, I'm just gonna take it in, man. And they retweeted it, and they're like, welcome to the party. Like, it was pretty cool. But it's Chris Jericho, the United States champion, versus
not for long.
Kevin Owens. Now, can you see Finn Balor or previously mentioned Samoa Joe getting involved in this to set up that faction and tie it into the Triple H thing at all?
It could. I could see that here too.
Yeah, the sad part on Balor is, I mean, it just keeps being talked about. They have nothing for him. So, I mean, hopefully he becomes a faction, but that's the main reason he's off TV. So hopefully he's on the next night. But at Mania, I just don't see him coming in. I think it's going to be a straight-up match. They're going to fight. That'll be one that I think will go all over. They'll go in the crowd. They'll go around the ring. And, you know, Jericho's apparently taking time off after it. So hopefully Owens gets a little luster back. It gets a U.S. title on his shoulder and, you know, maybe build up that stable with Triple H.
Yeah.
What I can see happening, and it depends on how they order the match. I mean, if they put this after...
I could see that first. That'd be a hell of a way to start off.
Well, what I'm thinking is if they put this after Triple H and Rollins somewhere, and Joe comes out and helps, you know, Triple H, and let's say Triple H loses even with that help, right? That could piss off Triple H and Samoa Joe so much that they come out and they could get involved in this match and ensure that Owens wins. And then that would really cement the thing. Be like, look, you know, this is our thing now. We're going for it. Don't piss us off because now we're super pissed off.
That is fantasy booking 101, sir.
Right. But I mean, I can see that interjecting somehow. I can also see Samoa Joe not getting involved in the Triple H match and getting involved in this one. And then that's setting up basically the same thing. Where if Joe and Owens are celebrating afterwards in the ring, and the Triple H match hasn't happened yet, Triple H could just come out still in his suit, or they can do a little vignette to the back room where he's standing there watching a monitor with his little smug look on his face, like, all right, that, and then while he's taping his wrist up, getting ready for his thing, you know what I mean? Like they always seem to have a cameraman on Triple H when he's taping his arms. It's like the only guy that's ever getting taped. He's just like,
hey, it's a hard science. He does it well.
So
he tapes his fingers too, which is weird. I've always wondered why all of his fingers are taped.
Well, he's got to, when he's calling the pitches, he's got to make sure that in the dark area that his pitcher can see that. So
no, you might be right on that because I mean Jericho's he's apparently he's gone after this for a couple months, so they're going to have to do
working on a new album.
They're going to have to do a write off. So I don't see them just saying okay he loses a match and disappears. So are they going to do some angle where he's hurt, ganged, something where he's
You almost went gangbang. I saw it in your eyes. So predictions: are we all in agreement that we think Kevin Owens wins this one?
Has to.
Yes, I do think Kevin Owens wins, but before we move on, I got to say I'm just really disappointed that this isn't for the United States title.
Yeah, I think this would have been great for Universal or something else.
I don't think Brock Goldberg needs the title. These guys have pretty much been carrying Raw since the brand split. Like, why not let them fight for the Universal title?
Well, no, and good point too, because they were thrown in. You had Balor as the face, gets hurt on the night he wins it. They have no idea what to do. They slam it to Owens, and he runs with it for a year. And the gift of Jericho and him was the best thing that Raw had the entire year.
Oh, that was amazing. That was like must see, banter. I mean, those two go back and forth. And honestly, Jericho for me is like a roller coaster. I love him and then I hate him. And I know that's what they're trying to do with him, but I haven't liked Jericho as much as I do in the last year and a half since him and Owens got together than I have in years. I mean, he's just been amazing, dude. Like he's just been I'm sorry, when he brought out the list the first time, I was like, this is magical.
Well, look at it. McMahon has spent, 3-4 years now shoving Roman Reigns down our face, trying to get him over. Other wrestlers spend their careers trying to get over. And Chris Jericho brings an aluminum-out clipboard with a piece of paper on it, and it becomes the most popular thing on Raw.
They're selling a damn list of Jericho for $25 on their website. Like,
it's actually up to 30.
Is it 30 now? I mean, it's ridiculous. And what's funny is every time they ever zoomed in on the actual thing, first of all, he was just scribbling on paper. Like, he writes in every direction, and he doesn't spell anything right. It's hilarious. So there's that one. Let's go. We'll switch back over to SmackDown. Women's Championship. I don't like this at all. Alexa Bliss versus every available female superstar. make it something. I mean, they made it elimination, which is kind of cool. Like that made it better. But where I think they screwed up was having Naomi show up on SmackDown this week.
That definitely did give away a teaser. I mean,
she's going to win it. I mean, she's going to win it in her hometown. I don't see her, or she's going to come close, and then I think she'll come out and she'll get it on Tuesday.
The thing that I hope doesn't happen, which apparently they've already called a couple, and no offense to them, but there's a reason there's a generation of matches where we just didn't care, and apparently WWE's contacted Kelly, Eve Torres, Victoria,
Maria.
They're all supposed to come back. And no offense to them, but it's like, let's give some kudos to the generation that's actually doing it.
That actually elevated the women. Like, I would have much rather seen a fatal 4-way or a triple threat with Alexa, Becky, and insert one more. Even Carmella would be a hell of a triple threat.
Or just give them, let Becky go in a 30-minute submission match or something. Obviously not 30 minutes, but, have something to where it's one-on-one. Let them show their skills. They've got talent on that roster.
Right. I mean, so I don't like the fact that they're doing a, elimination style, basically a gauntlet match.
But hey, as The Miz would say, look, it's John Cena's crap. Look where Nikki Bella is. Can't even get the women's title on the main card, but Nikki Bella's got a main event card.
Right, exactly. So, unfortunately, it looks like the writing's on the wall for that one. It looks like Naomi's going to take it. It's her hometown.
Cheap pop.
They really, really should have surprised everybody with her showing up. Because, honestly, there was very little talk about her being cleared and healthy enough to come back. You saw her name, speculation, could she be back on time, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of times when injuries start to recover, there's backstage talk. Like Dave Metzler will have it on his podcast, whatever, oh, she's cleared. She's been backstage. She's been at the Performance Center.
It was silence.
Naomi was dead silent. And then all of a sudden she's there. And it's well, you screwed that up because there was, like you said, it's cheap pop. She wins it in her hometown. Everyone's going to go crazy. But imagine that cheap pop when the lights just dim and all of a sudden it's holy crap, Naomi's back. And then she comes in and then wins it. Because now it's oh, well, that's just a throwaway, essentially. It's a time killer because there's going to be 55 women in this match.
Or did they do it because apparently the heavy rumor going around is not a main-up call to the roster, but that Asuka could show up. So did they have Naomi show up to kind of say, hey, no more people showing up, and hey, we're going to throw out one more, but who knows?
Well, I guess where that would come into play is, does Asuka lose her streak at TakeOver Saturday night?
I think we're up to the 160s. Goldberg's scared.
The other question, though, would be, are they going to let her lose that streak and not break it? Because obviously Goldberg's streak really doesn't mean anything. But would they want her... Would they let her win to keep the streak going and then just switch over and be and they'll be what the hell? And then basically she just says, I'm relinquishing the women's title on NXT. I'm here now, but my streak is still alive. Or do they let her lose? Because if she loses at TakeOver, then it's almost a given that she's going to be at WrestleMania. There's no way to hide it. So, Jeff,
I think it might even elevate. I think it might even elevate her star power if, what if she shows up as the NXT Women's Champion and wins the SmackDown Women's title and she carries both? Because NXT films once a month, right? They film 2 or 3 shows once a month. So, her commitments to NXT aren't going to be that much. She could literally be on both shows, and then you finally have that women's division on SmackDown being talked about because now you have the undefeated Asuka carrying 2 belts.
And they're playing up that undefeated aspect because, WWE, number one, they would love to own something WCW had. They'd love that record. They've already gone out and tweeted it. Yeah. Goldberg's already out and subtweeted it, saying, Asuka, good job. So as that gets closer, they're going to play it up.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. Yeah, it could be something.
I don't watch NXT. As much as I should, I just don't.
Blasphemy.
Although now I have this extra TV in my office, and that one you're going to give me, I'm thinking about putting it up there. So I may start, having to watch it. So I'll take your guys' word on that. But I think that would be remarkable if she either wins it TakeOver and just shows up, and everyone's well, what about her NXT title? Or like you said, she shows up, with it on her waist, and then as she runs in, just like drops it on the ramp, and it sits there the whole time. And then if she wins, as she's walking up the ramp, she bends over and picks it up and carries them both out. You know, like
huge.
I think that would be remarkable. I'm going to cross my fingers now that she shows up because
that one.
Because that would be, I mean, aside from, you know, I mean, I even saw, like you mentioned, like all these other names being thrown around. Lita was in a match recently, which means she could be cleared to come back. And I mean, Lita was, I mean, if we would have done our top 5 list, you know, 10 years ago before she turned into a man, Lita would have been at the top. Dude, when her jawline like exploded, you know, Lita went from bombshell to not sure, but Lita would have made my list. I mean, but you know, coming back, I mean, can you imagine if Lita, with her ability back then, was now with the way the women's division is now? That would be a lot of fun to watch.
But
amazing.
I can say the most proudest moment of the women's division is we will never have to see Eva Marie in a wrestling ring again.
Yeah, never again.
Yeah, but I would look at Eva Marie, but I don't need her to wrestle. So what's our thoughts on the Women's SmackDown Championship? Who wins it, Geoff?
That's one of the main intrigues I have about it is I don't know. They can go in so many ways. Apparently Summer Rae's supposed to show up. Tamina's supposed to show up. So a lot could happen. I just don't like the fact that, you know, you're supposed to be bringing these women up to prestigiousness and, hey, we're just going to lump it together on a pre-show. Have a nice time.
Oh, that's right. This is the other pre-show. Is it?
Which,
yeah.
I have it on the pre-show, which, if that's the case, you know, scrap all the creative ideas we just came up with. It's probably going to be Naomi winning in the pre-show.
Yeah, but, I mean, last second they could, you know, if Asuka becomes a thing, they could have, you know, the Aries match, or they could have the Memorial Battle Royal go long, and then it bumps the women's match to the main show, which they did that a couple years ago.
The current talk is the women's match is supposed to open the whole show, Aries and Neville second, and they're going to have the Battle Royal when people are coming into the show. So the Battle Royal is supposed to go on last.
I could see them flipping that and letting the Battle Royal go long, and then that possibly push the women's title over. But then I could also see WWE doing everything we just talked about on the pre-show, because they don't get enough people. That would be a great marketing ploy for them, for the network, to be like, hey, when you sign up for the network and you're not buying the traditional pay-per-view, you get the pre-show.
Anything can happen.
Look what you missed on the pre-show. This happened.
Right.
And then, you know, 709 women showed up for the title match because it was an open thing. Tyler Breeze came out dressed in drag, and he, you know what I mean? Like, all of that.
That's going to happen, dude, by the way. You know,
Breezy Bella is the best thing to happen in months.
No, the best thing that happened about that was when the other night on SmackDown, when he was like talking, and then he took the thing up, and Daniel Bryan was like, Tyler Breeze, when did you get here? Oh man. So I think we're all in agreement for predictions for this one. The obvious choice is Naomi, but
I'll go Alexa Bliss. I think she retains.
We could all go with question marks as well, just because it's hard to say what angle they may go with.
Right.
No pun intended.
Right.
Angle.
We'll talk about that too.
Oh.
Let's see. Where else are we at? Let's see here. Let's go. You mentioned it. Do we even care about the John Cena, Nikki Bella?
Yeah.
I highly care, and I think it's been one of the best built-up storylines and feuds.
We'll let Geoff take this one first, because you brought up some very intriguing reasoning behind this. So, Geoff, you explain.
This is professional wrestling at its best. I mean, you have truth, you have real emotions, you have storylines, you have over-the-top vignettes, you have videos that are just laugh out loud, you have two good workers in the ring, you have a guy who's a true heel, a guy who's a true face. I mean, it's the best. If you've watched these two go at it for the last couple weeks, especially on Talking Smack, I mean, Cena recently cut the promo of his life towards Mike Mizanin, no longer The Miz, and The Miz has been cutting promos of his life for the last 6 months, and they got to have The Miz go over in this match, because I mean, we know Cena's taken another 3-4 months off. He could be the top heel on SmackDown. I mean, depending on what they want to do with AJ, but he needs to win out of this. I think it's the best feud they have, and it puts some realism. I mean, a lot of what The Miz has been saying is behind the scenes kind of true.
Right, and you got to give Cena, I mean, love him or hate him, you got to give him credit for his mic work. I mean, the fact that he keeps calling Miz Mike it's like one of those things where it's like you believe it, whether it is or not. You believe the personality to it. You're like, damn, these two really don't like him. And you didn't mention one thing that's very important about this match.
Yeah.
Well, two things. One, we get to see Nikki Bella. But two,
well, apparently he's no longer retiring.
And two, we get to see Maurice in wrestling gear, which it won't be her cover up. You know what I mean? Like, there's potential there. As my wife joins in on Facebook Live.
Fired.
So, Fresh, by the way, she is not happy with you. You may have some beef with Sheena here in a little bit. So I think this one goes the way of Miz and Maurice winning.
God, it has to.
And it's going to be a clean, I can honestly see them ending it the way that they've been ending every episode of SmackDown with these matches, where Miz and Maurice are gonna, they're gonna co-pin Cena and Nikki. Like, Nikki's or Miz is gonna be pinning Cena. Nikki's gonna try to run in. She'll get speared or something by Maurice, and then they'll hit him with, one of the holds that, one of the submissions or whatever that. Well, no, they won't submit because Cena doesn't tap out. So it'll be some kind of...
Never give up.
Right, it'll be some crazy thing, but I think they'll both end up winning the match.
Brie Bella returns to turn on her sister.
Hella pregnant. So I think we're all in agreement the Miz takes this one.
Nope.
No?
I think... dude, I agree with both of you. I think this has been the best thing on SmackDown for the last few weeks, months. I think the resurrection of the Miz has been... awesome to see, literally. Like, awesome. But I can see John Cena and Nikki Bella winning this. And here's the WrestleMania moment. John Cena proposes in the ring after the match.
I've heard about it. Cheese factor would be through the roof, but I could definitely see WWE.
What if? Let me flip that on you. Cena, gets taken out. They end up losing. And as a, I'm sorry we lost. I won't let you down, blah, 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 blah. He still proposes to kind of wrap it back around on, even though he lost, he's still this big, lovable face that everyone wants to hate, blah, 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 blah.
No, a la Macho Man Warrior, where Macho Man loses and Elizabeth comes out for the reunion at the end. Very nice.
Right, I can see it that way. But at the same time, if Nikki is really not retiring like the rumors were, if they do have Cena win or Cena and Nikki win, I think that it'll be flipped. It'll be... Cena comes in and saves Nikki from getting the pin or whatever broken up, and they let Nikki win the match, not Cena. He plays the secondary role, preventing Miz or Maurice from breaking it, or Miz from breaking it up, and then that allows them to start maybe pushing Nikki back into the title picture if she is really not retiring. No. And they flip it. So I think this one honestly could go either way. And if they let Cena win and he disappears, here's the thing though, that can even propel the Miz even more to be pissed off and to be a better heel, because he's like, what the hell? Like, he wins and he leaves, he can't even stick around to finish his fight, bubble and just run. That's a lot more firepower for him just to run his mouth.
That's what I'm thinking too. I think John Cena and Nikki Bella have this moment. They propose. Like, again, I'm here for the WrestleMania moments. Like, I think that's going to happen, and I think. Then, like you said, the Miz just goes on a tear, right? Like, every show, he's pissed. I think it pushes Miz over the edge. I think it could help everybody here. And
you know what, Fresh? You've convinced me. You've convinced me. I'm going on the side of Cena Bella, but I think Nikki ends up winning it.
Well, and if I can go fantasy booking for a second, tell me this wouldn't be perfect. I mean, they've already set the storyline. Cena's the face. Never give up. Miz is the heel, but he's trying to tell the truth. Don't believe his crap. Tell me this wouldn't be the perfect setup for
Cena
all
taps out?
No. Miz finally comes up with a video, a tape, something to prove that he's been right about Cena the whole time, and we finally get the Cena heel turn. I mean, the seeds are planted.
But he can't do a heel turn and then disappear.
Well, no, not disappear, but when he comes back, they can read. I mean, talk about a nice double face. You could have Miz be the face that's been telling the truth the whole time, and he finally shows Cena's true colors. I mean, it's fantasy booking.
Yeah, but do you really want to see Miz?
Set it up.
Do you really want to see Miz the face on SmackDown? No, Miz is so much better as a heel.
That's the thing. I don't think people could like him if they tried.
No, I don't think so either. Let's see. Women's Championship on Raw. Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha, Nia.
And The Rock's cousin.
I don't like the addition of Nia Jax. I don't like the fact that Bayley's going in as champion. I think that Bayley should have been coming in as the challenger to Charlotte and having, again, Fresh, I'm taking your line, her WrestleMania moment. It would have been a much better, compelling match. This fan of WWE her entire life gets up and she gets to be the one that wins her moment at WrestleMania. Nia Jax, I don't know why they're force feeding us her.
Right, I agree.
Unless it's because of the fact that it's her family link. But hopefully the three other, Sasha, Bayley, and Charlotte team up and take her out early and make it essentially a triple threat match, showing that she's not this like all encompassing powerhouse that no one can stop. And I don't know if you're going to like this or not, Fresh, but my hope in this match is the Sasha Banks heel turn.
Oh, yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
Maybe you will like it. Maybe that's something you're looking forward to.
Yeah, I don't care if she's good or bad. She's the best.
She's the boss.
Well, they lost the intrigue of the whole undefeated streak on the pay-per-view for Charlotte. I mean, you throw that away last month. So
yeah, you throw that away at an
undercard,
or at an undercard pay-per-view. You could have had a double WrestleMania moment. It's and as weird as it sounds, I mean, it wasn't a WrestleMania streak, but how many was it in a row?
16-0. She had not lost in 16 pay-per-views.
So she was creeping up on Taker's streak as far as WrestleMania goes. It would have been another thing to lose that at WrestleMania. I don't know how this goes. Do you think Sasha turns and wins it?
I think best played out would be in some way, shape, or form, Bayley takes the opportunity and pins Sasha, probably by Charlotte knocking her out or something, or Nia Jax dropping the leg drop. And then, through the process, Bayley retains and does what she should have done. And just out of pure jealousy or boiling point, Sasha's like, all right, you're going to pin me? Bam. A backstabber, get her in the bank statement, and she's officially made.
Yeah.
I could see that playing out like you said, something happens where Bayley has to, Charlotte's knocked out, Nia's knocked out, and you're like, and Bayley does a little look around like, crap, okay, well, I have to do it, pins her. And then, Sasha does her hug like they always do. They celebrate together as friends. And then all of a sudden, Bayley does her little turn and like hit the rope thing to do the hug to the crowd. And as she turns to go to the next rope, Sasha hits her, with, like you said, the bank statement or something.
But here's the problem with Sasha. Okay, where your face is going to be. I mean, because I want the Sasha heel turn. It's going to come. But Charlotte heel, Nia heel, Sasha heel,
you have
Emma heel.
I mean, you have, Bayley,
you have no
it.
faces, so they're going to have to do some other type turn or reintroduce somebody. But I hope it comes.
Dana Brooke.
oh God.
Dana Brooke, the next face of Raw.
Oh God.
Jesus Christ! So, what's your prediction on this, guys? Fresh for you first.
My heart wants to go with my girl Sasha Banks, but I think the Flairs and Triple H are too close. I think Charlotte wins it, and I think by the end of Charlotte's career, she'll have the 16. She'll have tied her pop championship ring. So I think Charlotte wins.
That's a hell of a subplot there.
She might tease the heel turn, but she's like the hottest thing on Raw right now. I mean, like Geoff mentioned, you can't. You still need. She's a huge draw for the women, and they haven't had that for a time. So they can't turn her heel quite yet. But I think she'd be an amazing heel. But Charlotte Flair wins it.
Fresh or Geoff, what about you?
I think Bayley will win it, but I think Sasha will get the WrestleMania moment with the heel turn.
That's what I think as well. I think they're going to give Bayley her moment. She's going to win it. She'll get a little bit of a celebration, and then it'll go the way of the turn. Undertaker Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah,
the big guns.
Speaking of heel turns, the only way I think Roman Reigns wins this match is by doing it dirty.
According to Triple H, Roman Reigns is already a heel.
Well, the thing is, he had to play the role of heel. He hasn't officially turned. But if he would have tried to come into this as a face, he would have got booed out of the arena anyways. There's no way you could be a face against The Undertaker.
Well, the rumor is this potentially could be a squash match. Like literally 2 minutes done, Reigns wins. And if that happens, the boo birds are going to fly.
This is probably one of the very first or very few in a long time Undertaker matches that I don't care about. I like Roman Reigns. I really do think that he gets a bad rep, and it's not ring ability, it's not mic ability. I think it's just the fact that we got pushed so much down our throat initially, And when he won that Royal Rumble, I think that's what everyone just got pissed off about. But I think it's going to be a quick, dominating, yet dirty, like grab the trunks, do something dirty that he wins, and he wins and then he beats the crap out of him afterwards. Something, that establishes the heel turn for Roman Reigns.
Man, I've got a lot to say about this one, and like you said, like I think we all agree, Roman Reigns is the future of wrestling, right? Cena's almost done. It's Roman's turn. He's needed to turn heel for the last year, and for whatever reason, they're kind of keeping him that sly baby face. Dude, when he came out on Raw this last week, that was the first time I was juiced to see him, man, because he had all the heel mannerisms. He looked like a genuine badass. And if you want to turn the crowd, if you want to truly turn Roman Reigns' face, you have to turn him heel. Because what we'll do immediately is, once he's heel, all the guys that have been booing him for the last 2 years are going to cheer him, because we all want to see him as a bad guy. That's why we're booing. We want to see him as a badass. We want to see him as just a muscle, right? And like, it'll actually, I think, be better for his career if he comes out, like you said, just destroys The Undertaker, does a full heel turn for like a year. Dude, he'll skyrocket. In 2 or 3 years, he'll be the biggest face the WWE has ever seen, and he has to turn heel in a big way, and by just dominating and just taking out The Undertaker, that's how you do it, man. And then you set him up, he will be the biggest heel ever. And in typical wrestling fashion, like, the guys in our demographic are going to go nuts for him, because we like bad guys. We like those bruiser bad guys, and dude, the universe will get behind him if he turns heel.
So let me ask you this. There's a lot of talk that this could be Taker's last WrestleMania. Vince thinks it's going to be the last one. I mean, all accounts, he just turned 52 last week. He needs hip surgery. I mean, he doesn't move around very well.
He does not look good.
They're talking about the, this is my yard now, this is whatever. Could you see, I'll ask both of you guys this, could you see Reigns dominating Triple H, Undertaker, doing his heel turn, and then all of a sudden show up at SmackDown? That was my yard. This used to be Undertaker's yard at SmackDown. He used to run SmackDown. I'm here now to take over what I just took from Undertaker. I know Taker's been on Raw, but if you've ever watched wrestling, you know that SmackDown was Taker's show.
Right.
Could you see someone, because a lot of talk is that they want to get Reigns off of Raw, get him reunited with Ambrose potentially down the road, let Rollins have his own, thing over there without the mention of the Shield and whatnot, and really just let them cement that, they could turn. I mean, can you imagine if they turn AJ face for a little while, and then you have Reigns and
dude.
AJ?
Well, the writing on the wall is the booking of the match. I mean, it was supposed to be Undertaker Cena. I mean, that is a money match, and for McMahon to scrap that and go with Reigns, his boy, his project, I mean, it points it right there. Apparently, Taker's been in pain the last few weeks. Everybody thinks this is his last one, so that's the reason he's doing it. He's going to make Reigns. This is the guy I'm passing the torch to. So not only do I see him winning, but I think you're absolutely right. I think it's going to be a squash. It's going to piss the crowd off. It's going to be exactly the reaction they want. And as far as him going to SmackDown, it's already taken care of. The draft. I mean, it's coming up. They're going to want.
They are doing the draft.
They're doing the draft again. They're going to want to move him over, because the thing is, he wants to keep Reigns away from a lot of the wrong guys for a while,
and they want to keep him away from Lesnar for a year.
Well, and that's apparently the WrestleMania 34 main event now is Lesnar Reigns. So have him away for a year. Reigns probably wins the Rumble. Pisses everybody else off again, but he'll be heel. So yay at that time. But I mean, the writing on the wall is the booking in the match. Do I want Taker to win? Yes. Do I want him to ever retire? No. But I mean, like you said, 52-year-old dead man. He's gonna have to. Someone's gonna.
He'll be a dead man soon. But I would love to see just one night AJ's up on stage running about how. I mean, they could even do a heel versus heel feud, and just have him running his mouth about, I'm the face that runs the place. I beat Shane, whatever. And then all of a sudden, Reigns' stuff dropped, and he goes, "Look, I'm the you're the face that runs the place. Guess what? This is my yard. I took that from I took that from Undertaker. I took what was his. SmackDown used to be his. Let's and then it starts from there. So we in agreement? Reigns wins.
Yep.
No,
I love the SmackDown idea.
Pure
too.
defiance.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put Geoff down as Taker. I just mentioned one guy, AJ Styles. AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon. This one excites me just because I like to see how crazy Shane is. And the fact that Shane can handle himself relatively well in the ring for a very, very part-timer. But then you pair him up with AJ, who can literally elevate me to a match. I think this has potential to be one of those matches where you're like, damn.
Well, look what you have to look at the writing on the wall. It's Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon's son. The guy that only comes out for special occurrences. And look at the guys he's had matches with. Undertaker, Kurt Angle. I mean, a lot of people were pissed when this match got booked. They thought it was kind of a shot to AJ Styles. I think this is a rub to AJ Styles. Like, hey, we trust you. We think you can carry this match. You guys are going to probably put on, I'd say, the biggest kind of cheap pop for the show in terms of, they already showed a picture of the stage. It looks like Shane could jump 100 feet from the platform they have.
Yeah, from the top rope of the ring on top of the stage. I mean.
And if anybody can hide Shane's misgivings, it's going to be AJ Styles. So I think this is going to be a make-it night for AJ. Hey, you had Jericho last year. You're going to get Shane this year. We're grooming you for you running the show next year. I think it'd be great.
Now, could you see, to piggyback off of the whole you've been screwing me, no one respects me, him losing to Shane, and then that feuds his rage even more as one of the top heels?
Oh, no. In the dream world, Daniel Bryan comes out and causes interference, and it's AJ Daniel Bryan down the road. But, that's a happy fanboy right there.
I would love to see Daniel Bryan come out and do something. But
hey, contract expires in 16 months.
Right, exactly. So, Fresh, what's your take on this match?
I've heard you say it a couple times. They want to make AJ Styles a heel, man, but dude, the crowd was chanting for AJ Styles
since day one
during that entire contract signing, dude. they can't keep him heel for long, man. Like the crowd is just too behind him. So like you guys said, a spot fest with him and Shane jumping off stuff and doing crazy moves. They'll both be faces by the end of that. They'll probably stand together in the middle of the ring and take a bow.
Hug it out.
Styles has to win, right? They might hug it out, right? AJ Styles will win, but they need to play a minute of time before that guy becomes a face again. And like you had mentioned earlier, AJ Styles face versus new mega heel Roman Reigns, that could carry a year of SmackDown programming, dude.
Right.
Like that could carry that show for years.
You know what I was really hoping for, and I don't usually watch the contract signs. Like I'll watch some of the stuff like that, but I watch Raw and SmackDown like as I'm laying in bed getting ready to fall asleep, so I kind of buzz through things. I watched that contract signing so intently because if you look at it, Shane flipped the pages and looked at it to make sure everything was right. He kept re-looking before he signed it. AJ just wanted to run his mouth. He signed it real quick and walked away. And then Shane went back over and picked it up and looked at it again. I was praying that Shane would have been like, oh, you're so cocky. You didn't actually read it.
Hell to sell.
By the way, yeah, because he kept mentioning it's not a stipulation match. It's not a this. It's not a that. I really wanted Shane to be like, oh, by the way, did you even read what you just signed? This is a street fight or this is some other stipulation. Sure. And they didn't do it, which kind of made me sad. But I think this is going to be one hell of a match. I think it's going to be...
You just want the Mean Street Posse to come back.
So I would love to see the Mean Street Posse. So I have a couple quick things I want to say about AJ Styles. And Greg, you said you never watched TNA. I used to watch it a little bit just to laugh at how bad it was. But and I did not care about AJ Styles when he showed up in the Royal Rumble. I could have cared less, man. He was one of those boring TNA guys, right? Here's how good AJ Styles is like. He went from me, literally caring less about him than I care more about Fandango than I do AJ Styles at that point. This dude has come from – everybody is wrapped up in this guy, dude. He literally, went from somebody that, okay, cool, there he is. He has sold me on him. And I remember maybe a month ago, somebody kind of sent me, a leaked Wrestlemania card, and I saw Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles. And again, I was like, ugh, lame. But dude, that's just how good AJ Styles is. He's actually making me care about this match versus Shane McMahon.
Exactly.
And here's one rumor that really has me jazzed. I mean, like, excited jazzed. I've heard that there is, I mean, this could just be a complete rumor, but I've heard that Shane McMahon, and you just alluded to it, AJ didn't really look at the contract, whatever it was. I've heard that there's a rumor that Shane McMahon doesn't fight in the match, and Shinsuke Nakamura jumps in and fills in for him. Like, it was kind of like hey, I'm too hurt to do this. You're Shinsuke. Like, dude, tell me a Shinsuke Nakamura AJ Styles match would steal the show, WrestleMania moment, puts Shinsuke at the top of the SmackDown as well. I'm all about these WrestleMania moments. I'm a dreamer. I don't know if these will ever happen, but this is what I want.
That would be dope.
Well, no, it caused a bit of a stir when the European NXT posters came out and Shinsuke was not on it. And I mean, he's been added now because ticket sales were kind of low. But I mean, I think a lot's going to tell what happens Saturday night because he's not beating Bobby Roode for the title, but. You know, is it a squash? Does he disappear? I mean, that's a hell of an idea because he was calling for it a month ago. He was like, I want a WrestleMania match. And AJ even said, me and Shinsuke, we would tear it down.
That would be crazy. So predictions, AJ or Shane?
Got to be AJ.
AJ, unless Shinsuke shows up.
Oh. If that violin pops, oh my God.
Yeah, if that violin starts playing, like, it'll be like, here comes the money. And then that hits, like, in the middle of it, and he'll just be like, there you go.
You'll hear 60,000 people going, oh, that's what we did.
Unreal moment right there.
All right, let's see, what else do we have left? We already talked about that. I don't want to talk about that one just quite yet. Let's just get to the big one.
Uh-oh.
Goldberg-Lesnar. We all know what's going to happen. It's going to be Lesnar. You know, it's going to be longer than a squash. It's not going to be the little minute 28. But, I mean...
2 minutes.
Does this one really even take much conversation? I mean, it's going to be a Lesnar match. Lesnar's going to have the title for a year. He's going to disappear till SummerSlam, which is going to piss a bunch of people off. I mean, other than the fact that it's, you know, Lesnar Goldberg, do we really even care about this match too much? And is this going to be the last match on the card? Is this going to get buried in the middle somewhere?
I'm going to go on a small little tangent just because I don't want to get too sidetracked, but I think this match is a complete disservice to the man called Sting.
Oh, God damn it. I told you not to bring up that.
Very, very short, but you have a guy that gave 20-plus years to wrestling, bled for the business. I mean, everything he could do to make the product better, was a true champion. They have him lose in a interference fest at WrestleMania, then jobs someone else, and then goes out hurting himself to Rollins, and then you turn around and give this guy, former football player, only got it from the money, openly does not care about the business, and basically is just doing this because for selfish reasons. I mean, I understand it's a father's need, but he wants his kid to see him have a match, and he's using WWE to do it, and they just wanted to sully up the match better and give him a title, and I just think it's a disservice to someone that should have been in this spot to someone that could care less.
I agree. I think Sting should have been the champ. It should have at least had a chance to win that title for a little bit. Even if he lost it the next night at Raw, I could care less. But the fact that he never held the WWE title, he finally comes back, and then, like you said, he gets basically it was a throwaway match at WrestleMania. I mean, you bring out DX, you bring out NWO. I mean, who cares? Let them have their match. But yeah, I mean, is there any debate that we know Lesnar's winning?
Lesnar's winning all the way. It's just. Gosh, how out of touch is Vince if he thinks that this is what we want to see as the main event, right? Because this can't be more than a 10-minute match, right? Like it's
been updated 5 to 7 minutes.
Just a lot
we
of
should feel special.
Each other, and I mean, if I was, you got to have faith in the future because Triple H is the best person to take over this company, right? Because you see what he did with NXT. He knows how to put together a show. I just really hope Triple H, you know, kind of gets the chance to push for a Bray Wyatt Orton final match or a Roman Reigns Undertaker final match, even Triple H Seth Rollins final match. But dude, putting this as the main event, I think it's gonna get booed. I think it's gonna get booed.
Well, Orton even came out and just said he thinks Taker and Reigns should be the last match. So I mean, it's just anything but. Jeez.
What up, Danny from Oak Park? He just joined in on Mixler. Just want to give him a shout out. He's a big wrestling fan. So yeah, there's that one. Let's go to these last two matches we have left to talk about. are ones that I think have the most intrigue. I do want to ask you guys first, though. Someone already mentioned we talked about the proper angle, and Geoff says, "Oh, no pun intended." Obviously, we know. I mean, the speculation is that with Mick Foley being fired, Angle's going to slide into possibly the Raw GM role. It's probably not going to happen. Do you think Angle makes an appearance tonight, other than when they're on stage and they do the Hall of Fame, rollout? Do you think in any way, shape, or form Angle is involved, other than him being announced as a Hall of Famer?
I'd say no, for the main reason that and who knows, this stuff could all change, but basically what the pitch has been to Angle is you're going to get the red carpet treatment, you're going to get the Hall of Fame show this year, the cover of the video game in October. We're going to give you a main event match in WrestleMania next year. It's going to be Reigns and Lesnar, and then probably Angle, Cena, or something of that nature. And they flat out said that we don't want his comeback to be overshadowed by all the storylines currently already on the card. So I bet it's going to be a Hall of Fame, quick wave, and then we see the music play Monday Night Raw, and we get to have a nice year or two of Angle. But I hope they wouldn't cheapen it by having some little run-in or something like that. Him coming back is the last great thing they have.
I agree.
I'm with you there. What my dream is, and it won't happen. I mean, I was hoping that I want to see Angle, Jason Jordan, and Chad Gable in the ring all at the same time.
Team Angle too.
Right, and if the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal was on the main show, you might have had that opportunity to see something like that. But again, with it on the pre-show, nothing exciting is going to happen there. So I think Angle just, like you said, shows up, waves, maybe shows up on Raw the next night.
But that Angle even pitched that himself. He even wanted to, a couple months ago, he came out and said, if there's anything I want to do, I think me coming back and starting Team Angle again with Jordan and Gable, especially with the Olympic background, the true wrestling. I mean, that'd be nice.
Absolutely.
So
to be all together.
Danny in Oak Park wants to know, what is the over-under on the time of the Goldberg-Lesnar match?
Over 5, under 7.
5 to 7. I think that's probably accurate. I think there may be some just staring moments and pushing, shoving, whatever that might push it up to like 8 or 9. But as far as actual wrestling goes, you're probably going to get about 3.5 minutes in a 9-minute match of actual wrestling. The rest of it's just going to be, Lesnar pushes Angle down down, pushes Goldberg down, and Goldberg sits in the corner for a second while Brock kind of hops back and forth and shows his his grid or whatever. It's not going to be much of a match.
Well, I'd say a better over under the crowd shits on it as much as they did last time they met at Mania.
Oh, Jesus.
Their entrances walking to the ring will be longer than the match.
Well, given how long the damn ramp is, Goldberg's going to be out of breath. So there's 2 more that we need to talk about. And I think these 2 hold the most intrigue out of everything. And I'll start with the Raw Tag Team Championship, the Triple Threat Ladder match. It's Luke Gallows and Anderson as the champions, Enzo Amore, Big Cass, and Cesaro and Sheamus. Now, at last second, Sheamus and Cesaro pull ladders out at Raw. They start swinging them around. They make it official on WWE.com that it's a ladder match for the championship. Sheamus gets his head busted open. That was gross. There's been a lot of Twitter back and forth between the WWE official account and the Broken Hardys.
WWE, I knew you'd come.
They invented the ladder match. There's a lot of thought behind it that the reason it's a ladder match is because they're coming to WWE. What would your thought be, Fresh, if you're sitting there watching it? I hope you're not holding the baby at the time. And they introduce the 3 that are expected to be in the match, and there's like a weird delay. And Michael Wood just said, I'm hearing the Hardys might show up. And then all of a sudden, it's like quiet for a second. Everyone's kind of looking around, and then the Broken Hardys hit.
Delete.
And they make their appearance. They show up in this match. First of all, if they show up, what's your feeling? And second of all, if they show up, is there any way that they don't walk out of their champion?
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, anything can happen. Here's my only thing. Yes, dude, the Hardys, that's such a hot angle right now. But, dude, I just don't see them having another long run in the WWE. So, like, it would be cool to have them show up in kind of that part-timer kind of schedule, and they show up randomly, and the crowd is going to go nuts for them. It'd be amazing if they showed up. I don't think they win the championship. I think WrestleMania moment, Enzo and Cass get the championships.
What do you think, Geoff?
Full in agreement, because I'm actually, I think the Hardys are going to reinvigorate the other championships that are, as of right now, not even on the card, because the writing's there. I mean, they've closed their online store. They're tweeting back and forth. You know, they've passed their physicals. Contracts have been offered. And very quietly, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions were now a heel Usos who have been complaining that they don't have a WrestleMania match for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I could see the perfect segment. It lasts less than 5 minutes. The Usos come out. We're all pissed off. Don't even got a match. We're the Tag Team Champions. We're the greatest of all time. Whatever music is going to come out's hit. Hardys come out, less than 5 minutes, win the SmackDown Tag Team titles because they're on this Tag Team title tour. I mean, I think they have like 6 or 7 promotions titles right now. They've just.
I'd rather. Yeah. I'd rather see what you're talking about. That's how I'd like to see them show up.
Because it doesn't take, because Raw's got a good tag team division right now. It's the SmackDown one that's hurting. I mean, you know, the vaudevillains can't even get on TV now, so they got to get something to reinvigorate that, and it would just be perfect. Because I mean, it's very weird. You give, Gable and Jordan these titles, you want them to run with it, and they're just out of nowhere. The Usos take it, and it's just you can see the little steps are plotted there. But they're gonna show up. Is it Mania? Is it Raw? Is it SmackDown? Who knows? But we're getting the Hardys. They're coming.
So
I'd love to get on SmackDown.
So Fresh thinks Enzo Cass wins the Raw titles. What do you think?
I'd say Enzo and Cass as well because, I mean, it was leaked months ago that the only reason Enzo and Cass's push got down was because they wanted to have him built up for Mania. Cesaro and Sheamus got to separate soon, so I can see Cass and Enzo and the club feuding for the next couple months over the belts.
Danny from Oak Park says Hardys need to come in broken. Creative cannot mess with it. The Hardys it's already been, every rumor, everything written about it has indicated that they will be coming over as broken, and if TNA or Impact has anything to say about it, WWE lawyers are already ready to back them and take it to the house. So the Hardys will be coming over as broken. Yeah. Michael Wood says, what would the storyline be? Just a random appearance. If Jeff's works out, I mean, that elevates SmackDown's tag team
they
through
want
the roof.
The tag team titles. They're on a mission to get every tag team title. I mean, that's what they're here for.
So I have a better, well, in my opinion, maybe not better, but I have a different idea for the SmackDown Championship, and we'll get to that in a second. And it directly revolves around the last match that we have to talk about, Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. I think
follow the buzzer.
I think Wyatt wins it. I think that Harper. You know, he's been on this long thing about trying to prove to Bray that he wasn't being disloyal. He knew that Orton was a traitor, and he was just lying to get into, to get behind him to sabotage him. I think that Orton tries to, do something snarky to win.
Rowan.
Well, no, but Harper, prevents that. And then I could see, Rowan making his return, and maybe that be how they prevent Orton from cheating to win. And then, Bray retains, and he's standing in the ring with the full family again, right? And then Bray walks off, and Harper and Rowan don't follow him, and they stay in the ring. And, he jumps back in, and he's like, what are you guys doing? And they grab a mic, and they say, look, the family's back together. We've noticed that the Usos didn't defend their titles tonight. They call the Usos out. And then Harper and Rowan win the tag team titles without Bray being involved. Because every time they've won it, it's been the three holding the belt together. And they would interchange them like New Day does. Let Harper and Rowan win them. Bray wins the championship and retains. And then the Wyatt family holds 2 of the top belts on SmackDown and essentially runs SmackDown as their show. And basically anyone that wants to do anything involving a championship run has to go through the Wyatt family on SmackDown.
Well, the sad part is that's what they should have done 3 years ago. I mean, it's the hottest act they've had for a while. They've misused him. They've reformed him. The fact that Bray Wyatt is still the most intriguing character that is on any roster right now and still relevant and hasn't gone down from the bad booking is just credit to him. But he's finally got the belt. I mean, Rowan's dropped the little Twitter vignettes of him still wearing the mask, him taking Sister Abigail, so he's going to be involved. You know, Harper, the only reason they're fighting is because he was trying to prove, as he still is a family member. The only thing that's got me negative on that is Harper had a pretty candid interview recently where he's just saying, hey, I felt like I was a groupie in the Wyatts. You know, I was a backstage dancer. I'm happy I'm separated now. So is that some kayfabe where he's trying to throw us off? Who knows? But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's like you said, it's one of the matches that's got the most intrigue. And look at the reinvigoration of Orton. I mean, a guy who was stale for a while. Now all of a sudden, new gear, new attitude, mentality. I mean, he looks kind of just more devious than he has even when he was with Legacy.
Yeah, for sure. And then the other thing, too, is if they keep Harper separate, please stick with the black outfit. Yeah, that looks so much better than the dirty wife beater.
No more grease stains.
Danny from Oak Park asked, do we see Sister Abigail?
I think it's always going to be an option. The newly debuted Ruby Riott in NXT was talked about to be her for a while just because of her look, but with the whole, you know, now them burying her up and she now living in Bray Wyatt's essence, if you can say, who knows? But I think it's an option they're always going to have. It's just that that this time they're not going to play that card.
Right, and the thing is too, there's not really any faction that involves male-female splits. Well, that would be intriguing enough to.
Well, my best bet for Sister Abigail, if you want to rock some boats, have it be Stephanie McMahon.
Oh, Jesus!
She's the one from day one that's been spinning Bray Wyatt's wheels. I mean, tell me that wouldn't be great storytelling.
That'd be crazy. The problem with it, though, I mean, they've tried to interject other superstars. They tried to bring Kane. They tried to bring in Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton. It's not organic. It doesn't feel right. So if they don't debut a new female as Sister Abigail, I don't think you can pull in any former female and make it be convincing. I think at that point you're just like, okay, this is a stretch. This is kind of lame.
Yeah, it couldn't be a rehashed wrestling talent. That's why, if anybody, it would be Stephanie just for her power and her presence. But I agree with you. If it's going to be a wrestler, it's got to be a new person.
It's got to be a debut, but that gives them creative freedom for a long time. I think that covers every single match.
Well, I got a little before we go. I got a little flavor I want to throw on this match as well.
Yeah.
I think like I said, I think there's going to be a lot of WrestleMania moments. There's probably only going to be like one or two. I think this is the year you see the reemergence of these giant factions. Like I said, there's going to be Evolution 2.0 or Triple H's Authority NXT, whatever it is. And speaking of females and factions, I've heard Charlotte might be a part of some sort of Triple H faction, which would be awesome.
Nice.
I think you'll see the birth of a bigger Wyatt family, like you guys had mentioned. So I know not many people watch Superstars or any of those those weird one-offs on the WWE Network, but I have a newborn. And so my sleep schedule was messed up. So the other day it was like 3 a.m. and I was watching Superstars, and our boy Bo Dallas is sporting a pretty long beard and long hair.
I would love to see Bo Dallas get worked into the Wyatts, especially considering he's actually Bray's brother.
Well, no, and Bray just got quoted.
He's actually a hell of a wrestler. So it'd be cool to see some reuniting of the Wyatt family with Luke. And Eric Rowan, and then the new little brother, Bo Dallas, who's now officially part of the Wyatt family. And then they run roughshod on SmackDown for a year or so with this new mega evil faction of theirs.
Ooh, and Bray recently was interviewed and said that he feels that Bo Dallas is not only a great wrestler, but he's the most underrated and underappreciated wrestler that WWE has right now.
I agree, dude. When he was in NXT, he was a star. He was their champion. He was the champion when NXT was starting to become huge.
And the problem with it is they ran that stupid Believe thing and made him just a weird putz.
But he killed it, by the way.
He killed it, but then people didn't like it, and then they brought him back and they tried to make him this they tried to do that stupid smush angle where he just beats the hell out of everyone real quick. But it wasn't as believable because he's this little dude fighting even littler dudes. And it's just like, and then he kind of faded away again.
Well, if
let
anything,
him elevate with Bray. Whew.
Well, on that note,
Yeah.
if anything, McMahon has been notorious for, hey, you're going to get out of shape and not look presentable on my television show. I'm going to kind of drop you because he did get the chubster pounds while running around the ring.
But Sami Zayn's been getting chubby lately too, and he hasn't been. I mean, he's been knocked down the card.
Sami Zayn is my favorite. That guy's going to have a huge year. Watch.
But I love the Bo Dallas aspect because not only does it set up the current storyline, but as WWE obviously will do, that sets up a perfect breakup storyline between actual brothers down the road, which could elevate Bo more. So I mean, it could be a 2-part, great for now and great for the future.
Right.
Totally.
Do you, of all the surprise people, all the things they always try to roll out at Mania, we already all agreed that we don't want to see Angle do anything other than just come out, wave, and go away. Do you think that there's any other big name that maybe inserts themselves into the Battle Royal that interferes in a match somewhere? We mentioned Shinsuke. We mentioned Asuka coming up and maybe being involved in some of the matches. The factions. Is there anything that you've heard rumor-wise or that you hope may happen? Geoff, I'll start with you. That could interject and just be that holy crap WrestleMania moment this year.
Well, I mean, your 5 biggest names, we've covered them all. I mean, the Hardys there, I think, would be the biggest of all. I mean, Asuka showing up, Shinsuke showing up. I mean, I'm a huge Ty Dillinger fan, but he already got his Royal Rumble moment. But, I mean, we've covered the big names. I mean, Balor, I think, we get the biggest pop just of him being out on the TV for so long, but they've already gone on record. They don't have anything for him. The big thing I'm excited for, because, again, he's not on the card, but we're going to see him. I just don't think they're doing the angle right, too, which is what I think they need something more. But Joe, I'm really excited to see Joe, what he's going to do. Is he going to dominate? I think they've already kind of killed some of his luster with this little whole suit and Triple H gimmick. I mean, he needs to be the badass, blood on the towel, Joe's going to kill you guy. So they need to get him to that status. So if he comes out and just crushes Rollins, leaves him lying, I mean, that's what I'm excited to see.
Now, would you be as excited to see that if they let him do the exact same thing but take out Jericho? Because, I mean...
Anybody.
I just want to see the
Joe
destroyer.
needs to be the monster. That's what he is.
Right. What about you, Fresh? What's your one thing that you want to see happen, whether we talked about it or not, that you want to see be your... I mean, you've been talking about it all day, your WrestleMania moment.
Well, I want to see those NXT call-ups. I want to see Shinsuke show up. I would love to see Bobby Roode show up. Those are the guys I want to see. You're probably going to see a Stone Cold or The Rock show up. And I think the most realistic surprise that we'll see is the Hardys show up at some point. Here's my dark horse, though. I think you might see a little Hulkamania, baby.
They have been notoriously more quiet than usual on him.
Yeah, you might see some Hogan, man.
Well, it's amazing. We've gone this whole podcast without talking about it, but apparently they are going to be keeping Hogan off a little bit longer due to the Page scandal because they don't want to be bringing up the Hulk Hogan scandal. So you can thank the leak of whoever did the Page video.
Oh, trust me. I thank whoever did the Page video and the Caitlyn and the Maria and the Victoria, Victoria, but the other one,
and just to let everybody
Melina.
know, Brad Maddox will be the presenter for Xavier Woods' Hall of Fame speech.
Right, he needs to be. That would be cool to see Hogan. Honestly, I was joking about it today on Facebook. Someone said, "Is there any way that we could see Lesnar and Goldberg both lose?" And I said the only way that would be great would be if Sting showed up, put himself in the match and won the Universal Championship just as a dark horse. But, WWE over the last year or so, including last year's WrestleMania, has kind of been falling flat on their pay-per-views. The last couple have been pretty good. Fastlane, the last Raw one? Was kind of some questionable things. But I think this honestly is one of the more exciting WrestleMania cards just because there's so much that could happen.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to it. I'm not necessarily looking forward to, like we talked about, the kickoff show. Oh, the other thing we didn't mention, which I think is absolutely stupid, is Al Roker is going to be the in-ring announcer for Nikki Bella John Cena's match versus Miz and Maurice, which I think is an absolute joke. But
oh my God, I did not know that. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's stupid. So
And we get our yearly abuse down the throat of Flow Rider because apparently him and WWE are best friends.
Right. So there's a couple things here. There's some rumors here on the website that I have pulled up. I'm just going to run through these 5 real quick. Just give me a yes or no if you're excited about it, and then we'll wrap this up. So the first one is rumors Samoa Joe does not have a spot on the show, but could make his way into the Battle Royal. Would you rather?
No.
Don't want to see that.
No.
Would much rather see him interfere and form the faction. We've already talked about that.
Yep.
Stipulations could be added to the Intercontinental Championship and McMahon Styles matches. They would likely be Falls Count Anywhere and or Nose Hold Barred, respectively.
That Ambrose Corbin match needs it.
If they can do Ambrose Corbin as a Falls Count Anywhere, with how big that setup is, with how big that roller coaster thing, that would be amazing. But on the flip side of that giant roller coaster and stage that they built with Shane's ability to jump off of high shit.
Yeah.
Can you imagine him just climbing that roller coaster?
Hey, I'll tell you right now, I'd love to see it end of days on the stage. That'd be nice.
What part of the stage, though? It's 1.5 miles long.
Shit, right in the center, slamming Ambrose's face right in the steel.
This one says a proposal has been heavily hinted as Cena teams up with his real-life girlfriend at WrestleMania. Fresh, you were open for that one.
Yep.
SmackDown version of the Tag Team Championships changed hands last Tuesday, but it's not currently being defended on the card. We talked about the possibilities there, whether it be the Hardys or the Wyatts. And Finn Balor has been wrestling at house shows. Could he impact the Triple H Rollins match, or will WWE save his return for Raw next Monday?
Well, you gotta think the Monday after Mania. It's always, if not more recently, has been the bigger surprise.
It's been
show.
better. It's been, yeah.
What are your 2 big things going into the Monday that they could save? Balor's return, Angle GM.
Yep. So there's that. But Shinsuke could show. I like your idea though. If anything happens that I think would be amazing, would be a stipulation added to the Styles AJ match or Styles McMahon match that basically. Like I said, I saw him checking that contract multiple times, and there's got to be some kind of stipulation in there that Shane didn't mention. And I can see, them being in the ring, and they do their in-ring announcer, whether it be Jillian or whoever the girl is now. It's not Jillian, but the other girl that you think is hot, Fresh. JoJo. Do the announcement, and then be like, it's AJ Styles versus, Shane McMahon in a no holds barred match.
Wait.
And then AJ flip out, and then they pull it up on the screen or something, or Shane pulls it out and be like, "This is what you signed. This is official. Yeah. You need to read your damn contracts." And then it just go nuts because that plays right into AJ being screwed by Shane over and over again.
You would have you would have at least a 30-second holy shit chant,
or a, "This is awesome" or something. Yeah, exactly.
And you could still get Shane. You could still have Shane do a couple of those huge spots if it's a Shinsuke AJ match, right? You could still get Shane jumping off some 100-foot ledge, and then let Shinsuke and you know what I mean?
100 foot might be a little bit of a stretch, but there's a lot of possibilities. I can't wait. WrestleMania Sunday kickoff show starts at 4.
Hall of Fame Friday, Takeover Saturday.
I'll actually have to watch Takeover. I'm off on Saturday, so I'll actually get to watch it. It's going to be a big one. Our normal show will be Sunday night after WrestleMania. I don't know what time that's going to be, but we will be doing the show after. We'll talk WrestleMania there. Fresh, I really appreciate you joining us today. It's been fun. Like I said, my wife is pissed at you for not bringing the baby by, but we'll dive into that another time. It's been a lot of fun. I think you're officially no longer a closet WWE fan, as we alluded to. You know your stuff.
He's out of the closet. He's out of the closet.
And I will just say this: right now, I'm wearing my my Bada Boom shirt. I get to on Sunday. I get to officially break out my Randy Orton RKO sleeveless hoodie that I got for my birthday. So I'm excited about that. I can thank Geoff over there for that one for my birthday present this year.
Nice.
Well, yeah, it's so dope. Except I've been trying to look at it. I'm like, there's a gold zipper. Did he ever have a gold zipper in that thing? But I don't even care. It's pretty cool. Make sure you have the list of Jericho or the list of Fresh Hour out on Sunday. Fresh and if anything stupid happens, you better make sure you're updating people on that. But it's been fun. I have all of our. Oh wait, hold on. Enzo Cass. the last one we didn't talk about.
Breaking news.
Orton or Wyatt. Who do we have winning?
Oh, Wyatt.
Wyatt.
Got to keep the title on him. It is the year of Bray.
It's got to be. Can you believe he's been in, was it 3 years now, and he's never held a major title?
Well, no,
Wow.
here's a tag title.
Yeah, but I mean a major solo individual title. That's unbelievable. So, Fresh, I know I told you we'd only be on for like 30 to 40 minutes. It's now been an hour and 30 minutes, but it's been a lot of fun.
It's been a blast.
Anytime you want to come on, buddy, for anything, just let me know. We'll make sure it happens following your stipulations by your higher power. But I definitely appreciate it, Geoff. I appreciate you coming over and being a part of it. It's been fun. You are my wrestling guru. And we look forward to it again. Everyone that listened, I appreciate it. We're up to just over 100 and something views on Facebook Live, so that's pretty cool. And Danny from Oak Park, man, I really appreciate you joining in on Mixler. I know you're a big wrestling guy. He's going to the APW show at Cow Palace in San Francisco on May 8th or May 6th to see Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is going to be there in a steel cage match versus Joey Ryan. Who the hell
Bullet
that is.
Club. Joey Ryan, the penis move. You must know this man.
I don't. Is that the one where they...
Yep.
That's so stupid. On that note, tune into Wrestlemania. We'll have a full recap Sunday night right here on Facebook Live for Sports Talk 916. Rosa will be here and be upset about that. Geoff, we may even have you start the show with us and recap. But for Fresh and Geoff, I appreciate you guys taking time out of your Thursday, whatever the hell day it is this week. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Appreciate it.
Much love. See ya.
Yeah.